Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Game Show Night here on Fun for Freedom. Today we've got three spectacular game shows to play. We've got Card Sharks, then the debut of Family Feud, and of course, Pressure Luck to end our show. And now for Card Sharks, we have two contestants who are going to vie for up to 32,000 rupees and a brand new car. We have two contestants. One of them is a brand new contestant. Let's welcome Salasabim. How are you doing today?
Hello.
Hello there. Are you excited, ready to go and play Card Sharks?
I am excited.
All right.
Let's do the thing.
Good for you. Great to have you here on Game Show Night. Our second contestant is a longtime Card Sharks veteran. It is ProfessorWhom. How are you doing this afternoon?
My party is ready.
That's terrific to hear. Now, I have checked the statistics, ProfessorWhom. You are only 181 rupees behind Sariathesage for the number one spot on Card Sharks for all-time winning. So, all you have to do is win this match, and you will reclaim the number one spot, even if you strike out on the money cards. So, are you ready to go?
Indeed.
Excellent, excellent. Good to have you here on Card Sharks. Here is how Card Sharks works. The object of the game is to get through your row of 5 cards by correctly predicting whether the next card is higher or lower than the one preceding it. Now, before you have a chance to play your cards, however, you first must answer a high-low toss-up question. Now, we did a drawing backstage to see who would go first. Salasabim, you are playing the red cards, you're in the champion's position. ProfessorWhom, you are playing the blue cards, you're in the challenger's position. Good luck to both contestants. We're going to get started with a question to you, Salasabim. Game number 1, here is the first question. Salasabim, we asked 100 people, should the United States stop giving foreign aid to other countries until our own economic problems are resolved? How many said they thought the United States should stop giving foreign aid? Now remember, we surveyed 100 people, so the answer is somewhere between 0 and 100. What do you think, Salasabim?
I want to say 60 people.
All right, 60 out of 100 said that the United States should stop giving foreign aid. Now, ProfessorWhom, is the actual answer higher or lower than 60?
I'm going to say lower.
Lower than 60. And welcome everyone to the Fun for Freedom chat. It's great to have you here on Game Show Night, and we all look forward to seeing you play. If you decide to play, remember, join us on our Fun for Freedom Mumble server. Okay, ProfessorWhom, if the actual answer is lower than 60, you will play the cards first. But if it's not lower than 60, Salasabim will play the cards first. And if you get the answer right on the nose at any time, you win a 1,000 rupee bonus. Here we go. The number of people who said they thought the United States should stop giving foreign aid is 77. No, it's not lower. It is higher, and that means Salasabim, you have control of the cards. Now, for winning the high-low question, you will have the opportunity to change your card if you'd like. You have to call higher or lower and try and get through your row of cards first. Salasabim, your first card is an 8. That is not a very good card. It's right up the middle, so I assume you want to change that card, right?
Yes, I will change that card.
Okay, Salasabim, you now have to play this card. The 8 now becomes a queen. That's a good card. Remember that deuces are low and aces are high. You've got a queen. Is the next card higher or lower than a queen?
Lower.
Okay, lower than the queen. Now, I just want to remind you, Salasabim, if it's another queen, you lose. The card must be lower than a queen. Let's see if he's right. It's an 8. Yes. Okay, Salasabim, you're right in the middle again with that 8. Now you have a decision to make. You can continue to call high-low, but if you make a mistake, you go back to your base card, and ProfessorWhom would get a free shot at the cards. Or you can freeze. That would protect your position, and it would keep ProfessorWhom away from his cards. So, with an 8, would you like to play or freeze?
I'll play.
All right, he's gonna go for it. All right, you've got an 8. What's the call?
I'm going to say lower.
All right, lower than the 8. Oh no, it's a 9. It's not lower. And that means you go back to your base card, and Professor Whom gets a free shot at the cards. Now, Professor Whom, since you did not win the high-low question, you cannot change your card. Your card is a 10. Call this.
Lower than the 10.
Lower than the 10? It's an 8. Oh my goodness, all these 8s. All right, Professor Whom, you've got an 8 now. Player freeze.
Let's play it lower than the 8.
Risking it lower than the 8. Oh no, it's an ace. It's not lower, so neither player makes any progress. We move on to question number 2. And the question goes to you, Professor Whom. We asked 100 Australian women, are you afraid to go out alone on the street at night? How many said they are afraid to go alone at night?
I'm going to say 75.
75 out of 100 say they are afraid to go out alone at night. And Salasabim is the actual answer, higher or lower than 75?
I will say higher.
Even higher than that. All right. Number of Australian women who are afraid to go out alone at night is 61. No, it's not higher, it's lower. And Professor Whom has control of the cards. Professor Whom, you've got that 10. You want to play it or change?
Get rid of the 10.
All right, changing that 10 to a queen. Good card. What are you going to do?
Lower than the queen.
Lower than the queen? It's an 8. Oh my goodness, that's the 4th 8 between you two. What are you going to do this time, Professor Whom?
Okay, let's get into the meta game here. Now, if I call it higher, then it will probably be lower just to spite me. So I'm going to say lower once more.
All right, he's going to try it again. Is he right this time? Lower than the 8? Oh no, it's a 9. It's not lower.
Dear gosh, are you kidding me?
Oh my goodness.
Murphy's Law.
All of those middle cards. All right, Salasabim, you have a free shot at the cards. You've got a queen. You cannot change the card, so what's the call?
Lower.
Lower than the queen? It's a 6. All right, Salasabim, you've got a 6. Would you like to continue on playing or freeze?
Keep playing.
All right, call this.
Higher.
Higher than the 6? It's a king! That's a very good card. You now got a king. You're 2 cards away from game number 1. You want to continue on playing or freeze?
Freeze it right there.
You're going to freeze on the king.
Yes, indeed, I will.
All right. It's going to freeze on the king. That protects your position. And we will move on to question number 3. And that question belongs to you, Salasabim. We asked 100 wives of Marines, does your husband treat you more like his property than his wife? How many said they are treated more like his property than his wife?
$65.
65 out of 100 said that they are treated more like his property than his wife. Professor Whom, is it higher or lower than 65?
I'm going to say lower.
Lower than 65. Number of wives of Marines who said they are treated more like his property is 17. You're right. It's very much lower, Professor Whom. You have control. You have got a queen. You want to play it?
Lower than the queen.
All right. Lower than the queen. It's a 7. Not much better than that 8. We're still near the middle. You've got a 7. Remember that the next question is sudden death. You want to play or freeze?
I'm going to play it higher than that 7.
Risking it higher than the 7? It's an ace! All right, Professor Whom, an ace. What are you going to do?
Lower than the ace.
Lower than the ace? It's a 3! Okay, Professor Whom, 1 card away from game number 1. You've got a 3. What will you do?
Let's put it higher than the 3.
All right, he's going to try and go all the way. If he's right, he'll win game number 1 and 100 rupees. Higher than the 3? It's a 7, and Professor Whom, you have won game number 1. Well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Boy, oh boy, those are some tough
Clappa.
cards. But Professor Whom got the right set of cards at the right time. So he gets game number 1, but Salasabim, it takes 2 games to win, so you've got to win this game to stay alive in this match. We'll deal brand new cards to each of you, and we'll go to question number 1 in game number 2. And Professor Whom, that question belongs to you. We asked 100 male members of the British aristocracy, were any of your ancestors ever imprisoned in the Tower of London? How many said that they had ancestors that were imprisoned in the Tower of London?
I'm going to say 38.
38 out of 100 said that they had ancestors that were imprisoned in the Tower of London. Salasabim, is it higher or lower than 38?
Higher.
Higher than 38. Number of male members of the British aristocracy that were in prison is 35. It's not higher, it is lower. Professor Whom has control of the cards. Professor Whom, we start game number 2 with your first card. It's a queen. You want to play it?
Lower than the queen.
All right, lower than the queen. It's a 10. Okay, Professor Whom, you've got a 10. What are you going to do?
Lower than the 10.
Lower than the 10. It's a 5. All right, you're 2 cards away from the championship. You've got a 5. Player freeze.
I'm going to freeze here.
All right, freezing on the 5. That protects your position and keeps Salasabim away from the cards. We move on to question number 2, and the question belongs to you, Salasabim. We asked 100 Australian women, have you ever seen the movie Gone with the Wind? How many said that they have seen the movie Gone with the Wind?
I'm going to say 55.
55 out of 100 said that they have seen Gone with the Wind. Professor Whom, is it higher or lower than 55?
I'm going to say higher.
Higher than 55. Number of Australian women who have seen Gone with the Wind is 64. You're right, Professor Whom. It is higher. You have control of the cards again. Professor Whom, you've got a 5. Would you like to play it or change it?
Lower than the 5.
You're going to play the 5 and go lower?
Yes.
All right. He's going against the odds, but he's got a feeling a low card's coming up. Lower than the 5? Oh, no, it's a 6. I am sorry, it's not lower. So, Salasabim, you get a free shot at the cards, but you cannot change this card, but you've got yourself a queen. What's the call?
I'm going to go lower.
Lower than the queen? It's a deuce! All right, Salasabim, you've got a 2. What are you going to do?
I'm going to say the next card's higher.
Higher than the 2? It's an ace! All right, Salasabim, now you have an ace. What are you going to do?
I'm going to keep playing.
All right, call it.
It's lower.
Lower than the ace. It's a jack. All right, Salasabim, you are 1 card away from tying up the match. You've got a jack. Would you like to play or freeze? Remember, if you get it wrong, you go all the way back to the base card. What are you going to do?
I'm going to play it.
All right, he's going to go for it. And what's the call for the game?
Lower.
Lower than the jack to tie up the match. It's a 6, and we do have a tie match. Congratulations. Well played, Salasabim. Nice cards.
Thank you.
Oh, you're
Beginner's
very,
luck, I guess.
Yep, you're very
Well done
welcome.
indeed.
Yep. So both of you have ran the cards to win your game. So now we go on to game number 3. This is the tiebreaker, and it works a little bit differently. Both of you only have 3 cards to get through, but there's only 1 question. That means we automatically go to sudden death. So somebody is going to win the match on this play of the cards. And Professor Whom, the question goes to you. We asked 100 millionaires, are you wearing a diamond ring right now? How many millionaires said that they are wearing a diamond ring?
I'm gonna go with the 75 strats.
75 out of 100 say they are wearing a diamond ring. All right, Salasabim, is it higher or lower than 75?
Lower.
Lower than 75. Here we go. Number of millionaires who are wearing a diamond ring is 14. That's all. It is very much lower. Salasabim, you have control of the cards. Now, listen up. We are in sudden death. This is the tiebreaker. I'm going to tell you what your base card is and what ProfessorWhom's base card is. And then based off of that, you can either decide to play your cards or pass them to your opponent. Salasabim, your base card is a 5. ProfessorWhom's base card is a 6. Now, here's how this works. You can play the 5 if you'd like, or you can change the card if you'd like if you want to try and get a better card. You'd have to call the next 2 cards in a row correctly to win the match. If you make a mistake, however, ProfessorWhom wins the match. Or you can pass control to ProfessorWhom. He's got a 6 and he cannot change the card. And he would also have to play 2 cards in a row correctly. If he gets them right, he would win the match. But if he makes a mistake, you would win the match, Salasabim. So, based off of the information I just told you, would you like to play or pass?
I'm going to play.
All right, he's going to keep control. Now, the next question I want to ask you is, you've got the 5. Do you want to play it or change it?
If I keep the change, can I change a future card?
No, you can only change the base card.
I'm going to play the 5.
All right, he's going to keep the 5. All right, what's the call?
Higher than a 5.
Higher than a 5? It's a king! All right, Salasabim, 1 card away. If you get this right, you will become the champion. But if not, ProfessorWhom wins. You got a king, call it.
Lower than a king.
All right, for the match. Is it lower than the king? It's a jack, and Salasabim is the champion. Congratulations. Well played.
Mamma mia!
Thank you. I want to ask all of the little people. I want to thank all of the little people that got me here today. Oh my God, I'm in tears.
Wow, congratulations. So you get to play the money cards. Well done. Well, ProfessorWhom, it looks like that the number 1 seed will have to wait another match. You did pick up another 100 rupees, and you're ever so close to getting number 1 again. But you have fun playing?
I did.
All right, good for you. Maybe we'll see you again later. Remember, we're going to be doing Family Feud after Card Sharks. It's the debut, so hopefully we'll have you there for that. So thanks for being here on Card Sharks. Salasabim, you are the champion. Are you ready to play the money-making game?
I am ready to play money-making game.
Excellent. Let's get to the cards. All right, so for winning the match, you won 200 rupees. That is yours to keep no matter what. But now I'm going to give you new money, and this time you're going to bet that money. I'm going to start you on the bottom row with 200 rupees, and there will be 3 cards for you to bet on. Then we'll move you up to the next row, and I'll give you another 400 rupees in betting money and 3 more cards. Now, when you bet, remember that the minimum bet is 50 rupees, and you must wager in 50 rupee increments until you get to the top card, the big bet, and there you must wager at least half the money. Now, you can change 1 card per row by using the 3 spare cards, but remember, you can only change it once per row. Also, there are 2 jokers hidden in the deck. If you find a joker, you get an extra opportunity to win the car at the end of this. As the champion, we give you 1 joker for free, so you'll have at least 1 shot at winning the car. Okay, Salasabim, you have 200 rupees, and your first card is a king. That is a really good card to start out, so do you want to play the king or change it?
I'll play the king.
All right, you have 200 rupees. How much would you like to bet?
I'll bet 50 rupees on it.
Just 50. All right, he's going to go conservative. All right, 50 rupees, and what's the call?
Lower.
All right, lower than the king. Now, in this round, if another king comes up, it's a push. You don't lose on a double. 50 rupees. Lower than the king? It's a deuce! All right, excellent. 250 rupees, and you've got a 2. You cannot lose on this card, so let's hear the bet.
I'm going to bet 150 rupees that this is
No, no,
going the next
no,
card.
no, no,
Nah,
no, no,
nah,
no,
nah,
no.
nah. What?
You can't lose on this card. Bet it all.
Bet it all. You can't lose. I always hear that whenever I go into casinos and I walk away with empty pockets.
No, seriously. Even if another
150 rupees.
listen to me, Salasabim. You cannot lose on this card. Even if another 2 comes up, you would still have 250 rupees. Bet it all.
All right, I'll bet it all. 250 rupees.
All right. What's the call?
Higher.
All right. All of it. 250 rupees. Higher than the 2? It's a 5. All right. You now have 500 rupees and you've got a 5. Do you want to play the 5 or do you want to change it and hope for a better card?
I'll play the 5.
All right, you're going to play the 5. Now, you have 500 rupees. How much would you like to bet?
I'm going to bet 300 rupees.
All right, 300 rupees. And what's the call?
Higher.
All right, 300 rupees. Higher than the 5? It's a 7. You got it. All right, you're up to 800 rupees. That's the end of the first row. We're going to move the 7 up to the next row. I'm going to give you another 400 rupees in betting money. You're up to 1,200 rupees, and you have a 7. Do you want to play the 7, or do you want to change it? Remember, you can only change 1 card per row. What will you do?
I'll change the 7.
All right. Now, would you like card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3?
Card number 1.
All right. Let's see if we can get you a better card. Let's hope so. You got a lot of money. That's 7. Now becomes a jack. That's a better card. Okay, you're up to 1,200 rupees. You've got a jack. Again, the minimum bet is 50 rupees. How much would you like to wager?
I'll wager 200 rupees.
Okay, 200 rupees. And what's the call on this?
Lower.
Lower than the jack. Hey, TB for good. Nice to have you here on Game Show Night. We hope you're enjoying the show. Okay, 200 rupees. Lower than the jack? Oh no, it's an ace. It's not lower, but that's all right. Now you have 1,000 rupees and you have an ace. Once again, you cannot lose on this card, so what are you going to bet?
1,000 rupees.
All right, and the call, please.
It's gonna be lower.
All right, for 2,000 rupees, is it lower than the ace? Oh no, another ace! Oh my goodness. That's all right though. You keep your 1,000 rupees. It was a push, so you still have 1,000 rupees and you still have an ace. I assume you want to make the same bet, right?
Same bet channel. Same that Joan ruined.
Lower, same bet lower, right?
Yes.
Okay, all of it. 1,000 rupees lower than the ace. It's a 7. You got it this time. All right, you're up to 2,000 rupees. We moved the 7 up to the big bet. You don't have to play this card. You can change that card if you like. You've got a 7. I assume you want to change it.
I'm going to keep the 7.
You're going to keep the 7. You're sure about that?
I am absolutely sure.
All right. Now, we're at the big bet. You must wager at least 1,000 rupees, and you can bet more. You've got 2,000 rupees and a 7. What is your big bet?
1,000 rupees.
All right. And what is the call, higher or lower?
Higher.
All right. He's going to go for it. This is for either 1,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees if it's right. Good luck to you, Salasabim. Here we go. For 3,000 rupees, higher than the 7? It's a 9! You did it! Congratulations, Salasabim. You won 3,000 rupees on the money cards. Well done. Congratulations.
Woohoo!
All right, you had some tough cards there, but I tell you what, I think you did quite well. So, with the 200 from the main game, you have a grand total of 3,200 rupees. We're not quite done with you yet, because now I'm going to give you a chance to win the car. Now, you didn't find any jokers in the deck, so you're going to have one shot at winning the car. And the car we're going to offer you is the Suzuki Samurai. It's the most expensive car in the game, and it's worth 7,949 rupees. And let me tell you something, Salasabim. I've tried to give this car away 8 times, and I have not done so yet. So maybe you will be the first contestant to win this car. So, give me a number between 1 and 7, and see if you can find the word car.
Three.
All right, he's going for card number 3. All right. Fun for Freedom chat. If you've got an answer, let's hear it. Maybe you can win the car as well. Here we go. He's got a card behind number 3. Hopefully that is where the word car is. Best of luck to you, Salasabim. Here we go. For the Suzuki Samurai, is the car behind card number 3? No, it is not. I am terribly sorry about that. But that's all right. You've got yourself 3,200 rupees, and you played a really good game. Let's see what the Fun for Freedom chat has to say. ProfessorWhom is going with his usual 7 or 5. TB for Good says number 3. Swan Jack says number 2. A Wild Abra. Hey, a Wild Abra's in the audience. Good to have you here on the game show night. He's going with number 4. Sensuna84 says 6. Eon Diamond 7. Prodigy Dr. GN says number 5. TC Gamer says number 1. The Little Lioness says number 1. And let's find out where that car is. Number 5. So, Prodigy Dr. GN, you got it right. And ProfessorWhom, if you had your bet, you got it right too. So, well done. Well, that's a good game of Card Sharks in the books. You've got yourself 3,200 rupees, Salasabim, and you are our champion. So you will be playing in our next match. And are you ready to defend your championship?
My body is ready.
Excellent. That is good to hear. So we're going to take a short time out. We're going to come back with game number 2 right after this. So don't go away.